Oh my God, you gotta know that it's a slow news day if the best you can report is that people were singing happy birthday to Trump, and it's not even his birthday today. He turns 77 tomorrow. Just goes to show you that not all 70-plus-year-olds are created the same, but I know I'm being a touch facetious because, yes, indeed, something historic, something quite monumental did in fact happen earlier today at the Federal Courthouse in Miami, where Trump and his quote-unquote co-conspirator pled not guilty to the 37 felony records charges, which we'll have to go over that, I think, on Saturday in a lot more detail because the story is evolving. There's a Trump rally that's supposed to be happening later tonight, and it's such a big story, but as of right now, like, there's not much to really go on. Like, there was very little reporting or very little to report on earlier today when he went down to the courthouse. Obviously, as this is a federal case, there's no cameras inside the courtroom. There's little goofy-ass sketches that's down there. It was just more or less, the dog and pony show. Afterwards, to and fro the courthouse. And then everybody that was outside of the courthouse, fantastic, beautiful turnout, a lot of wonderful people that were down there. But there is, oh my gosh, I was going to say no other president, no other political figure in history, at least in the United States, can't speak abroad or anything like that can elicit this level of support, can see his re-election campaign be bolstered by these obvious political hatchet jobs. Everybody just needs to get the hell out of the way when it comes to Trump. I seen one good thing that was done earlier today. The only other GOP candidate running, Vivek Ramaswamy, he was actually down there. He was down there and he gave a little presser and he said, hey man, if I'm elected, which, hey man, if it comes down to God unwilling, if Trump's taken out of the race and it's between DeSantis and Vivek, I'm going with Vivek at this point in time. But he made the pledge and he also challenged everybody else, come out and say something in support of Trump. If you end up getting the nomination, if you end up in the White House on January 21st, 2025, make your first presidential act pardoning these obviously political charges against the 45th president. So far, I think I might have seen a statement by Nikki Haley, but Ron DeSantis, that dude is quiet as a rat pissing on cotton. Like, there's absolutely no movement out there outside of that one stupid goofy ass statement from last week where it's like, well, if there's the Ron DeSantis administration is going to take on the corrupt FBI and the woke DOJ, or whatever dog shit statement he had afterwards. But here's Trump's day in summary, right? Okay, so Trump's day in court, he left, stayed at Doral in Miami. Trump leaves his hotel, the Wilkes D. Ferguson Jr. Courthouse in downtown Miami, heads down to the courthouse, and then he's booked and fingerprinted, processed, but will not be jailed or pose for a mugshot, which, god damn it, the Democrats didn't get what they ultimately wanted. Yes, a Trump in that orange jumpsuit holding a little name and date board behind with the height demarcations on the wall. They aren't going to quite get him yet, but oh, don't worry guys, the walls are closing in any day now. Whatever. Okay. Trump will then appear in court. It's unclear if he will enter a plea. Yeah, no, we already know at this point in time. Trump's lawyers, which we've seen outside the courthouse as well, just asking, what about Hunter? What about Hillary? Don't have to worry about that in equal application of the law, but we'll get to that eventually. Ex-president will leave a court and head to a Miami International Airport, which we've seen somebody try to accost the motorcade, but they were dealt with summarily. Oh, good. Don't worry, folks. They're going to receive the treatment and the help that they'll definitely need. He then flew to Bedminster, New Jersey for a speech at 6:15 p.m., which at time of recording, he's about to deliver within the next hour or so. But outside the courthouse, man, so there was a whole bunch of demonstrations, and from the different live streams and stuff that I seen, the streets were basically packed with all different types of creeds, colors, sizes, and shapes of Trump supporters. And funnily enough, the media, managed to find all of the anti-Trump Antifa types. Imagine that, the more inflammatory folks that were out there. This dude right here, well, him in particular, he decided to, what do the kids call it? Fuck around and find out. So he tried to hop in front of the motorcade as Trump was leaving the courthouse. And, well, some of Miami's finest, dealt out some, well, as you can see right there, they took care of that situation, and somebody decided to, oh my God, I didn't even notice the first thing that happened there. He got fucking, decked in the face with a MAGA hat. Good for him. Good for him right there. But yeah, no, he was taken down and he was arrested, and that's where you got that nice little snapshot right there. Those obvious white supremacist cops, right? Anyways, but yeah, man, they got some other pictures. I guess a pig's head with an American flag. I don't know if that's... Yeah, no, okay, crowd of anti-Trump demonstrators. Yeah, it wasn't really so much a crowd as very few people. That's, yeah, you're going to notice a consistent through line. The people who had the pictures taken as opposed to the people that are down there to support Trump. Yeah, they kind of are outnumbered like 1,000 to 1. They get a disproportionate amount of the media coverage because you have this guy, okay, with his pig's head. That's the second photo that you took right there. And then you have this chick who looks clearly stable, but I don't know, by those legs it kind of looks like maybe a former cornerback, but the hair's a little bit of a thrown off or flow off-putting. There we go. I'm trying to read the sign. Obviously, it's not quite as catchy as the Save America, the Make America Great Again flags, but you have a banner that's held up by somebody that sounds like they're a flag. Finally, Trump arrested. I can't tell what's at the top right there. Black folks will save us? I have no idea. I don't even know what the judge is. I don't know who the prosecutors are, but if you think that Joe Biden, just because he said, if you vote for Trump, vote for me, that you ain't black... If you think that that makes him an honorary black man, well, I got news for you. He's got some statements from the 70s that would just kind of put your entire worldview in question. But yeah, man, you got a whole host of people that were out there, and outside of a couple of little goofy-ass things, didn't really see that many scuffles. Just hundreds, if not thousands of people out there on the streets making some very valid claims. Yeah, like, okay, Jeffrey Shenko. The Democrats go untouched year after year and nothing happens to Biden, Obama, or Clinton. No, of course, they play for the correct team, right? So, Trump on the other hand, no, he's bad. He took documents. Okay, well, so did Barack Obama. Well, he returned them. All right. What about Joe Biden? He returned them. Oh, okay, cool. Was he allowed to have them in the first place? Shut up, racist. All right. But yeah, going back to a restaurant for a second. It's actually a fairly famous Cuban restaurant in Miami. So I'm told, Versailles Bakery, and Trump went down there and he bought everybody waffles, actually. In fact, we got a little bit of a story here, but he was met by probably one of the most famous Cuban immigrants that resides in Miami, Jorge Masvidal. He came down there and we got the little video that's right here.
Oh my God.
Great champ. Just don't fight him.
No, he shows there was a bunch of other stuff that went on down there as well. But yeah, man, Trump went down, makes his first statement after the arraignment. Thank you, Miami. Former President Donald Trump thanked his South Florida supporters Tuesday afternoon in his first statement after pleading not guilty to the charges related to his alleged mishandlings of classified documents. But it's kind of funny because I've seen other legal scholars talk about this, or just, practicing lawyers who know a thing or two about these types of charges. It's funny. In the indictment, the Presidential Records Act is not really referenced all that much, and everything is charged under the Espionage Act, which requires proof of motive that Trump was flaunting secrets purposefully. And I understand why they're charging him under the Espionage Act, because if that can be interpreted as a treasonous act, he can no longer hold office. Under one interpretation of what it takes to be a presidential candidate, it just muddies the waters again, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Thank you, Miami. Such a warm welcome on such a sad day for our country. Trump, 76, sorry, my mistake, said on his Truth Social account after leaving the downtown courthouse and stopping to greet supporters at the iconic Versailles Cuban restaurant. The 45th and hopefully 47th president traveled by motorcade to appear before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Goodman. Oh boy, he's one of them boys. After receiving word June 8th that he had been indicted, Trump and Walt Nauta, his co-defendant, valet, and former White House military aide, were booked by authorities at the Wilkie D. Ferguson Jr. U.S. Courthouse. Naughta's arraignment was postponed by 2 weeks due to his inability to secure a local counsel. A Trump-aligned group is covering his legal expenses. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because if you have a weak link in the chain and then you have somebody who's also being charged, the only other person that's out there, prosecutors think that they can go ahead and try to flip them. I understand why they didn't just specifically charge Trump. Prosecutors did not consider the former president and his body man to be flight risks. To to leave the country? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Just stay within the confines and then be easily accessible. Yeah, that's far more likely. And they won't be limited in their travel. Yeah, because that would look even worse than simply the charges themselves. Trump and Nada can also communicate, though not about the case against them. Yeah, of course. They're talking back and forth. Hey, heard any good jokes lately? Special counsel Jack Smith hit the 45th president with 31 counts of improperly retaining classified material, saying the indictment that Trump had also obstructed justice and lied to officials who requested the documents. Not as charged with 6 counts of also concealing documents and making false statements. False statements, of course, man, because you could just about you could snatch up anybody on false statements any day of the week. The two allegedly worked together to shift boxes that contain the classified documents around Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate after leaving office, temporarily housing them in the ballroom, bedroom, and bathroom by turns. Yeah. Again, I'm sure that there's more to that story, but those are the salacious pictures that make the headlines. Same with this guy once again. Oh, the one who was arrested. Huh, hilarious. Once again, all of those Trump protesters that were out there. Was there like 3 of them? I don't even think I'm being hyperbolic. There's this guy, the guy with the pig head, and then that weird black lady chick. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a guy, maybe a chick, who knows. And there he is again. There he is again. See, he's getting undue amounts of exposure. But just quickly going back to Trump, actually meeting with supporters, the people that organically turn out to these places. The only person that's left working at CNN, I think so, Jake Tapper, I guess he was on the horn covering this stuff on the most trusted name in news, and apparently he had a bit of a hissy fit. I haven't heard this yet, but fake news, Jake Tapper having a meltdown watching footage of President Trump at a Miami cafe with, people supporting him. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine being popular. Imagine going out in public, Jake, and people not going, ugh, or spitting on the ground in front of you. Must be a weird feeling to see that.
Serious national security laws, and then obstructing and refusing to cooperate with the FBI.
Whatever.
Yeah, while people are singing happy birthday in the background. Oh my God, how dare people, how dare them not buy all of our charges hook, line, and sinker, and not think that he's an evil man.
This spectacle is that's unfolding before us. Let's remember what this case is about. Let's remember what this indictment charges. Again, Donald Trump is charged with a series of federal felonies.
Yeah, there's a lot of charges and allegations against them. See, if we continue to pile them up, that makes them look even bad. Why aren't these people believing us?
For mishandling.
That's also funny because you take a look in the background and the amount of placating and pandering that the DeSantis campaign does in service of the female vote, but Trump's got actual organic women around him. Doesn't need to have any harpies on social media. No, he meets chicks in real life. Weird.
The most sensitive government documents that we have, and for obstruction of justice, along with Walt Nauta, who is charged with intentionally setting up lies to the grand jury, to the FBI. Any way you look at this, and again, despite whatever may be going on in that restaurant, this case isn't going to be settled legally in a cafe. It's going to be settled in the court based on the facts and laws.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn he's trying to turn it into a spectacle,
He's trying to turn it into a spectacle. Holy man.
Campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already. Let's go over again the 37 charges that Donald Trump is facing.
See, they're serious. There's charges, okay? We had our own special prosecutor whose wife worked with the Obama administration, and him himself, who's a big Democrat mega donor. We got charges. Shut up. Why are you supporting him? He's bad. We've been telling you for years he's bad.
Right now, we don't have to go into each one.
Sure.
But Ellie, if you could basically detail what are the allegations here? We have counts 1 to 31. Those have to do with specific.
Oh no, it's so terrible, right? Oh well, Jake. At least he's happy you can talk about something relevant that might actually get him ratings. Yo, man, only boomers appeal to CNN anymore. Oh my God, did you see what they say on CNN? No. Nobody does. It's just funny to see him spurg out. That's about it. But like I said a little bit earlier, the Republican side of things have been awfully quiet, which is when it comes to presidential candidates. A bunch of other, House members and senators have chimed in and just said how awful and stupid this stuff is. But other Republicans in the presidential primary race, they've been awfully silent. What about the other side of the aisle? Haven't seen much outside of, you know, people just trying to astroturf enthusiasm. Oh, we finally got him this time. Well, that's fantastic. What about Uncle Joe? What does Uncle Joe have to say about his predecessor being snatched up at his behest? Because, come on, man, he knows exactly what fucking time this is. You know, he can only play dumb for so long. But actually, for Joe, it kind of makes sense because, well, he doesn't quite have all of his faculties about him. What's the White House dealing with at this point in time? Dudes putting their tits out on the White House lawn. Yeah, but it's weird, right? Because I seem to recall there was a statement and there was something that Joe Biden, or at least his handlers, said about, you know, Joe Biden was going to be the return to normalcy candidate in 2020. He was going to be the guy that was going to restore order. He was going to be the adults, him and his confidants, they were going to be the adults coming back into the room. Well, they had their big gay celebration at the White House over the weekend, and there are a couple of people that turned out for this one, including a TikToker, Rose Montoya, and, yeah, doing a little dance on the front lawn, and we got it, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, thanks. You get the gays out, and it's wonderful. I at least know where they are right now. Or stand up, you.
Happy Pride Year. Happy Pride Life.
Yeah! Oh my God. I didn't think you were supposed to, as a devout Catholic, don't you know? All the 7 deadly sins. I don't think that you're supposed to flaunt one of them, but you do you, right?
Transgender children.
You are beautiful.
You are heard.
You belong.
You're understood.
Yeah, it's so nice. We gotta cut everything up, and we gotta intersperse the first lady. I like the Jill lady. She's nice. She takes me where I need to go whenever I make the doo-doo in my pants.
Our love.
And you belong.
You belong.
Bravest, the most inspiring people I've ever known. And
you're welcome.
Good folks.
They're the bravest and most inspiring people that he knows. He's also the commander-in-chief, the head of the military, but a bunch of people that like to take it up the poop chute. Those are the most inspiring and brave people that he knows. Well, depends on what part of the country you're doing the old poop chute taking. You're taking the old Hershey Highway in San Francisco. That's kind of taking your life into your own hands if you're not wrapping up appropriately. I understand.
Can we take a little video? Hi, Mr. President. It is an honor. Trans rights are...
Hi, this lady right here has got the big earrings, and I like your dress, lady. Hopefully it stays on while you're here at the White House.
Human rights? Oh, it's a video.
Oh my God, well, to be fair, you know, technology's never been his strong suit. See, that was bad enough. Okay, if that was on the White House lawn, if that was on the South lawn in and of itself, that's a little gross to begin with, but brace for impact, folks.
The monument's in the back, right?
Gay news.
It's so damn. Are we topless
There you go. There you go. That happened. That's the White House in the background.
at the White House?
Fantastic stuff. Yep. See, these people, it's not about recognition. It's not about trans rights or human rights. Access to healthcare is what we care about. It's all about publicizing their sexual fetishes, okay? Because that's exactly what this is. This is a dude with silicone implants and the fucking BBL shaking their shit on the fucking front yard, and you're not supposed to say anything about it at all whatsoever, right? Because you remember, we need to restore honor and decency to the White House. There you go. You got to do it. And to be fair, you know, it's not the only guy that has their top off on the White House. It's not the first one. It's not the last one. You remember all of those old sweaty football games that the Kennedy boys used to have back and forth. So, not the first time, not the last time, but definitely the most infuriating time, to say the least. But a little bit of an update on this one. Trans TikToker who went topless at the White House is now claiming he/she is a victim because, of course. If you would like to stop people calling you a degenerate groomer, perhaps don't act like one. Yeah, you don't say. So what do we got from Rose here?
It has recently come to my attention that
Okay, you might have the look down, but you definitely don't have the voice down.
conservatives are trying to use the video of me topless at the White House to try to call the community groomers.
You're getting nude in public. I don't know what else to tell you.
etc. And I would just like to say that, first of all, going topless in Washington, D.C. is legal. And I
In public spaces like that? Interesting.
fully
Well, maybe for a guy. Did you just kind of give up the ghost?
support the movement in freeing the nipple, because why is my chest now deemed inappropriate or
Well, there were kids around, and by definition, calling somebody a groomer, getting naked, normalizing sexuality, which I understand that these are complex thoughts, and you're too busy worried about where your dingus can go and where else you can shake it in order to tell people that you need to respect the female penis. Your entire life is sexual, and you're wondering why people are referring to you as a groomer. Fucking weird logic, huh?
illegal when I show it off. However, before coming out as trans, it was not. All you're doing is affirming that I am a woman.
No, it's still fucking gross anyways.
All you're doing is saying that trans women are women, because for some reason, people like to sexualize women's bodies.
What are you doing? What are you doing right there? Just wondering. Other people, though. Sure. You can't be sexualized unless you sexualize yourself first.
And say that they are inappropriate.
And again, what part of that video where you were dropping it back and throwing it back for the guys and the girls, I guess? Yeah, as you can see. I don't know why everybody's sexualizing me. I have no idea why that's happening.
My trans masculine friends were showing off their top surgery scars and living in joy, and
Yeah, it's still just as gross, by the way. I don't know who runs around and asks kids, "You want to know how I got these scars?" That's still a little bit fucking unsettling, but all right.
wanted to join them. And because it is perfectly within the law in Washington, D.C.,
She knows the law, and if you don't, you're gonna end up going to jail.
I decided to join them and cover my nipples just to play it safe.
Yeah, like, if you want to be a woman, you gotta play by those rules. Imagine that. You want all the privilege to get right up close to the president just for the fact that you spent a whole bunch of fucking money that, by about a flip of a coin percentage, you might end up putting some very expensive stuff in a coffin here very shortly, but alright.
Because I wanted to be fully free and myself.
It's so much narcissism all the way down.
I had zero intention of trying to be vulgar or...
I had no intention. That was the consequence of your actions, stupid.
Be profane in any way. I was simply...
Not profane in any way.
Enjoy living my truth and existing in my body.
Oh my god.
Happy Pride. Free the nipple.
No, you fucking weirdo. Okay, and that's what ended up happening here. So it looks like you're gonna have to go ahead and, celebrate Pride by yourself. Sucks to suck, I guess. White House bans disrespectful topless trans influencer Rose Montoya. What? No. White House has banned trans influencer Rose Montoya after she flashed her breast at President Biden's Pride party, blasting the stunt as inappropriate and disrespectful. No, it wasn't. It was totally fine. It's totally legal to do this. Who's the White House to tell me I can't do that? Montoya, 27, was barred from the executive mansion on Tuesday as footage went viral of her pulling her shirt and cupping her breasts moments after meeting Biden on the South Lawn at the Pride party Saturday. In a statement to the Post on Tuesday, the White House spokesperson said she flouted basic etiquette and is persona non grata at future events. This behavior is inappropriate and disrespectful for any event at the White House. All right, well, an exceedingly rare White House W is not reflective of the event we hosted to celebrate. Well, I don't know. You could take a look at the rest of the company that was there as well, and what else were they doing? Just saying, to celebrate gay. I don't see. That's a different acronym. We've seen LGBT. We've seen with the Q. Haven't seen with the I. Seen with the plus. With just the first four. But that one's a new one. Or the hundreds of guests who were in attendance, individuals in the video, will not be invited to future events. Oh man, so even Biden's been kicked out? Well, that sucks. Polyamorous and trans rights advocate, also just a mixed up kid, who grew up in rural Idaho. Oh my god. Should have just saved a bunch of money and, stuffed couple of potatoes in your dress. Did not immediately respond to interview request. Oh my god, this is going to be the event that pushes that over the edge. In the fast cut edited IG clip, Montoya captured her meetings with the president and first lady Jill Biden. It's an honor. Trans rights are human rights. Yeah, you're by definition a human. You just can't quite get any of the specifics down. Montoya said to the Democrat as they shook hands, he's like, yeah, it's nice. You like ice cream, and can I sniff your fake hair? But it's funny. It's funny. The White House was more active in condemning a flashing tranny than issuing a statement on the predecessor and hopefully the successor in the Oval Office. But I guess you can walk and chew gum unless a set of stairs are involved. Sucks to suck, Biden. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.